Hello everybody, Saw It Twice Movie Reviews here to talk about an interesting comparison in the box office this year. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 versus DC's Wonder Woman. On RottenTomatoes.com, Wonder Woman has a 92% tomato meter rating from the critics, while Guardians of the Galaxy only has an 81%. So I want to talk to you about why Wonder Woman is a better movie than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So in this comparison you might be thinking, well, I don't know if it's a fair comparison. It's not necessarily apples to apples. You've got Wonder Woman, an origin story, kind of a first movie, versus a sequel. But you could look at it as, well, Wonder Woman was introduced in Batman vs. Superman, so this is the second time we're seeing her, and it's the second time we're seeing the Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's what kind of comparison we're going to be doing. We are not necessarily going to be doing a Marvel versus DC battle, a Marvel versus DC comparison here.
You want to talk DC versus Marvel? It's not even a fair comparison, because DC has Batman. And obviously, Batman is the best. So you can't compare.
Captain America here. Just wanting to make sure you know that Marvel is clearly the right choice. Let's look at some numbers, right? Take Rotten Tomatoes, for instance. The Marvel theatrical releases are averaging an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, as opposed to DC's 50%. Now, if you want to look at before Wonder Woman came out, the first three movies from DC, they were sitting at 36%. So, obviously, Marvel, much better movies.
And in the new movie Wonder Woman, she even gets a letter from Batman, and that's awesome. And if you want to talk about comparisons, fine. DC Extended Universe is averaging $324 million in box office revenue, compared to Marvel's $308 million in box office revenue. So there's a comparison. But clearly, Batman is the best.
Oh, you want to talk about money? Okay, well, Marvel has 4 movies that have broke $1 billion worldwide, and its average for worldwide is sitting at $785 million per Marvel movie, compared to DC's $750 million. So if you want to talk money, you can look at that and say, clearly, Marvel is still the right choice. Okay, so all that aside, let's just talk about Wonder Woman and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So, I really think the critics got it right here. I think that Wonder Woman is definitely the better movie. Much more enjoyable movie for me, and one that I want to watch over and over and over again. Guardians of the Galaxy didn't feel that same way. Overall, I felt that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was really forced. I felt so many things in this movie were just because it worked in the first movie. They had to do it again. And so they kept pushing it in there and pushing it in there. Whereas Wonder Woman, I felt, had a great balance throughout the movie. Very well balanced, and just a great movie in so many regards. Let's talk first about the music. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, everybody loved the music. It was incredible. I mean, from the very first trailers that we saw of this movie, we were excited about the music. Volume 2, music didn't do it for me. I felt like it was, there's that word again, forced. I feel like they forced on this music that had this really earthy tone, earthy vibe that wasn't very exciting or thrilling like maybe we would hope for or expect. Wonder Woman, on the other hand, had that music that we had, would the word teased work? Forced, maybe, in Batman vs. Superman. Anytime Batman was, having these Justice League moments, that music came up, and I kind of found it annoying. In Wonder Woman, I thought it was awesome. It was there at all the epic moments, and it just worked to propel the excitement of the wonderful action scenes that we have in Wonder Woman. The humor in these movies, okay? Humor in Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one of the funniest movies of my life. So funny, and it was mostly because of the group dialogue, group banter that made it so funny. One of the characters, Drax, who I thought was hilarious in the first movie, worked so well because it was used sparingly, sparsely, to where you kind of forgot that he takes everything literally. They didn't let you forget that in Volume 2, because it was just there all the time, over and over and over again, to where it just became so annoying. Not only that, but the humor was really crass. Kind of, hard for me as a father. Don't want to take my kids to see this movie because the humor was dirty and inappropriate, and blatantly so. So I didn't feel great about a lot of the things they try to do with the humor. Now that being said, there are still some very good funny parts in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Wonder Woman, though, was able to achieve good humor without having to go that far. They did have some humor that was in the sexual reference arena, but didn't push those limits too far to where it was obscene or vulgar like we had in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So I thought they did a great job on that. Again, on that point, Wonder Woman, I think, wins out. Let's talk about emotion. I think great movies have to have good emotion that really draw you in and help you care about the movie and care about the characters. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now I'm going to have some spoilers in this because I got to be able to explain where I'm coming from. So fair warning, spoilers coming at you. Emotion in Volume 2, I felt like it really was just forced. Like forcing this emotion, you should feel sad now. As they try to build up this whole sister relationship for Gamora. And it didn't work. As they're fighting and they're hating each other and wanting to blow them up, and then it's just like, well, I just always wanted to have a sister. And you're like, Nebula, what? It just felt so weird and out of place. And I don't know, the emotion just wasn't there for me with that. Also, on this same topic of emotion, there's the whole Star-Lord's father. Now, we got that at the end of the first Guardians, that was going to be something we needed to figure out. Who was his dad? Who was Star-Lord's dad? And so they go there in this movie, and it's a weird, interesting relationship as he meets who his father is. And as that relationship, it's not really ever there, is starting to accelerate, then all of a sudden his father shows this dark, horrible side of him that wants to just, I don't want to give too much away, I guess, but just not good, right? And it just felt so fast. There wasn't a great build-up to it, and it just didn't work, and it wasn't there. And so then in the contrast to that, here they have the guy that kind of raised, if you want to call that, for Star-Lord. He kidnapped him and threatened to eat him if he wasn't, being good. And they try to all of a sudden bring this relationship there that, Yondu was really Star-Lord's dad, and that's where the emotion is. And it just didn't work. It didn't work for me. Here's this Yondu guy who earlier is on one of the ships that gets mutinied, and he gets thrown in jail, right? And a friend of his from before decides to help bust him out of jail because the new captain killed all his friends. And you're like, oh, that makes sense. Well, then what does Yondu do? He walks out and he kills every single person on this ship, and now we're supposed to be okay with it? Well, I can't be with that guy because he killed all my friends, but you can just kill whoever you want with your whistle and life is good. So, anyways, I think the path they should have followed was the Yondu and Rocket, the raccoon. Those two together made sense to me. And when they were together, I thought they were cool. And I thought there was something great there. So, emotion in Guardians wasn't there for me. Didn't really work. In Wonder Woman, however, you've got a great developed character in Captain Steve Trevor, who is just the goodness, the beacon, who helps Wonder Woman when everything seems to be going wrong, see that there is still good, there is still love, and that, yeah, Earth is worth trying to save and to fight for. And so there's some powerful emotion between Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor, and again, Wonder Woman wins out in that category. And it's just to talk about the storytelling, Guardians of the Galaxy really just never had me. You start out the movie with this scene, it's funny, it's got cool action, and there's these video game people chasing them in pods, and it's like, okay, now the real movie's gonna start. And I didn't feel like it ever really got past that intro, and it never really got going. Whereas with Wonder Woman, great origin story telling us who she is, what she can do as she finds out more about who she is and what she can do and why she wants to be here to help us. So great narrative, Wonder Woman. So as you can see, DC has won this battle of the summer. Now, I wouldn't say that they're the better movie making company. Marvel, in my opinion, still a long shot ahead in this war. But I will say Wonder Woman so far has the battle. But the summer's not over yet. Whoosh.